Welcome to Hyperfixed on History, the episode 1. The day America almost had a king. Imagine this, 1782. The revolution, basically over. The British are packing up, they're getting their ships, they're filling it up with people. People are just leaving town quick. America finally free. Fireworks, dogs and cats playing together, bald eagles, flags being sewn. Wait, why is someone asking George Washington if he wants to be king? What is wrong with this person? Yes, king. Fancy crown, shiny throne, probably a bunch of ceremonial scepters. America, the country that just spent 8 years fighting a monarchy, almost went, you know what? Let's try it again. We like the picture of post-Revolutionary War America. Big patriotic block parties, flags, people happy everywhere, dancing in the street, freedom everywhere. But in reality, we were anxious, broke. Political groups were everywhere trying to tell you what their version of America should be. It was a project nobody wanted to manage. Nobody knew how to manage it. We've always been managed by somebody else. The Articles of Confederation, our first quote-unquote government, were like a flat pack IKEA desk, okay? You go to IKEA, you have to put everything together, right? Picture looks amazing. You buy it, you get home, all the words are in a different language. So you try Googling it, you don't understand the directions. And by the time you put it together, you have leftover screws, and the whole thing leans to one side. That was America. America was a bad IKEA desk. Congress couldn't tax anyone, so we weren't making any money. States ignored each other, so borders were always up in flux. And there was no president, just committees. Committees. Now, if you've ever been part of government, or learned government, or was a student of mine that learned about government, you realize committees do absolutely nothing but kill good ideas. Have you ever gotten stressed? You make a bad decision, you just feel out of control, and you don't know what to do next, so you just do another bad decision, or you do something to get your mind off your bad decision. Okay, so your kitchen is filthy. You know it is, you go to bed, and tomorrow I'm going to take care of it. Can't sleep, it's bothering you, it's annoying you. So what do? Wake up at 2 a.m., you fix it. You fix it because you don't know what else to do about why you're feeling so horrible. You get anxious. With me, it's unread emails, unread texts. I can't sleep. I got to take care of it. Putting out one fire by causing another one. That was America in 1782. We just fought an exhausting war. We didn't trust each other. We didn't trust every state, every person. Everyone thought someone was a British spy trying to come back. And our economy was, well, let's just say it was a bad credit score waiting to be exposed. It would have been somewhere between blocked number and this is, the Brown agency calling for collections. We didn't have money. We didn't know how to make money. And the country was in flux. Having no real leadership pinnacle person made a lot of people anxious. Some people, not me, I would not have thought this, I don't think. Maybe. We need a king. Just for stability. Just to calm things down. Now, when I think of this and I hear this, I think of the book, The Hunger Games, the last book. Hunger Games is a book about Revolutionary War districts fought against the capital won, and they made them sacrifice 2 children every year for a blood sport Hunger Game. If you've never seen it, look it up. The last book, the 12 other districts win. They get back their freedom. And when they get back their freedom, their first thought is our people want revenge. So they talk about doing another Hunger Games, but with only the capital's children. Not a good idea. And that's what happened here. Colonel Lewis Nicola, he's the guy who asked, hey, he was a colonel for the Continental Army. And he asked this a stupid question in my mind. He had confidence. He was gusto. He writes Washington a letter, like a historical text, hey, what's up? You up? Let's talk. But instead of asking to hang out, he wrote, hey, George, crazy idea. What if you were king? We can call it something nicer if it makes you feel better, if the optics are better, but you king, yeah? Washington's reply was quick. Didn't even think about it for half a second. No. Don't bring this up again. And also, what is wrong with you? We just got done having a king and revolting against him. Why would I want to be king? They're going to revolt against me. Washington didn't even entertain the idea for 5 seconds, which is probably why he's Washington and I'm making a YouTube video about him, because he's the man. But here's where my ADHD brain kicks in, okay? It derails the story. Why monarchy? Why, after fighting so hard against it, would anyone even suggest it? Because monarchy was familiar. Humans, even rebellious teenagers or post-teenagers or just rebellious anybody, we like status quo. We like things that feel good or feel normal or feel regular. That's why you always go to the same restaurants. That's why you always get the same drinks. That's why you go back to your ex, because if you've been with them for a while, because you feel like you have to, because that's just normal. That's why you make bad choices when you buy a car. You always buy the same car, even if it breaks down. We like familiar. America had grown up with a king. We knew the rules, the traditions, the vibe, okay? And when people are anxious, we cling to the vibe. We cling to it. We want it. We desire it. We need it to feel quote unquote normal. I do the same. I always go back, and I haven't in a while. When I get stressed, I go to caffeine or sugar. Still doing it. Better than I used to be, but I haven't done the caffeine, but the sugar I still do. And that, I think, is the point. We all do it. We might say we don't. We do. We all have bad habits that we go to when we're stressed or when we have anxiety. And that's just who we are. Now, Washington just saying no wasn't him being humble. It wasn't him being, I'm awesome, so I'm going to say no, and they're going to make me king anyway. No. It was a fork in the road for the country, and he saw it. He knew that if he had said yes, the entire American experience, the experiment, the thing we were doing, would be over before it even started. Even King George III was stunned. Now, if you know anything about King George from the musical Hamilton or just from reading history or learning history, King George was a little off his rocker. He fought the Americas while fighting other countries, and he was bankrupting his own country because he was mad. Not like angry mad, like bat crap crazy mad. And even he had a moment, he's like, why would he give up power? Why? When he was told Washington planned to retire, he said clinging to power. George III supposedly said, if he does that, he'll be the greatest man in the world. Which in that day is basically saying, much respect. Okay? And that's because men, women, people, humans, we crave power and attention. Very few of us don't. All of us, YouTube is piles of people craving attention. I like to imagine Washington back at home at Mount Vernon. He just was president for 8 years. He was a general of the Revolutionary Army. He led men into battle. He crossed the Delaware. He did it all. It's on Mount Vernon. Cool. I just changed the world. Now what do? You know what? I'll farm. If you ever finished a big hyperfixation, like something's been bothering you for weeks and you finally got it done, or a video game, or studying, or a test, or a dance recital, anything. And you finally do it. You pull it off. Best day ever, right? After you're done, do you have that empty feeling? You're like, what do I do now? I don't know, alphabetize my spice rack. I don't know, maybe that will work. And that's kind of like what he did. And he knew he was going to do that, and he still did it anyway. So let's play the what if game, the alternate history game. If Washington had become king, no real constitution, not the way we have it. Probably no Bill of Rights. Probably what will happen is America collapses into rebellion against Washington. Yeah, that guy and his heirs. Ironically, we might have ended up fighting the guy who led our troops to fight for our own freedom. That would have been crazy. The day Washington refused the crown wasn't just a quirky historical what if. It was a declaration of what America wanted to be. Wanted. That's the big word there. And it's a reminder when things are chaotic. Easy answers, the easy way out, as some call it. They look tempting. Strong leaders, familiar systems, they can feel safe. But sometimes the harder path, the one that doesn't give into fear, is the one that works. So next time someone says history is boring, tell them about the time America almost crowned the king, and the king said no. And the king said no, and we have had many leaders since who have said no. Now, right now, we're going through a time in our history where America keeps thinking Donald Trump wants to be king. He can't be. Even if he tries, he's not going to be. For many reasons. One, there's laws against it, there's rules against it. He can try changing the laws, but that's not going to work. Okay, in 3 years, he's out, no more. He can't run again. Goodbye. But that's not the only point. We have balance of powers that right now are very Republican. But in the 80s, we're Democrat and Republican. In the early 90s, Democrat, Republican. In the later 2000s, it was Republican, Republican. It bounces back and forth. Everyone has their time to shine. Our biggest struggle now is to get people into office that know what we're going through. The reason these people keep getting elected isn't because they're buying our votes. It's because people who protest, who are angry, who are violent, who are pissed off at the system aren't voting. They're not doing it. 330 million Americans did not vote in the last election. Now, some can't, some are too young, some are criminals and can't vote in jail, whole whatever. But those who can vote, 6 out of 10 usually vote for the presidential election, and half of that for House and the Senate and the governors. There's our problem. When less than half of our country is voting, how do we get laws passed for the bigger part of us? We want change. We want things to be better. We don't want a king. We need to fight the battle and win the war of voting for those who actually know what we're going through and actually cares. That's it. It's the easy answer. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all for watching. Till next time.